a raven flying for Dragonstone now. Daenerys is our only chance.
No. There's another. Killed him. He turned them all.
After watching Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 6, we have just one burning question. What does the Night King want? I'm Zoe from GamesRadar, and I'm sitting down with Louise, and we're about to discuss what the hell that cold-hearted monster could possibly want.
Well, I guess, what does he want? He's got one thing, one exciting new shiny toy.
It's a dragon. Jesus Christ.
He has a nice dragon, which is, in what was a quite predictable moment for Game of Thrones, I think we can both agree that them being stuck in the middle of a lake on a rock going, this is a bit of a Lord of the Rings eagle moment. We're in need of a dragon.
How else would they have got out of that situation? There was no other way they were going to make it out.
No. I mean, it was quite predictable. I think we can look at that Game of Thrones episode and a lot of exciting, amazing things happened in it, but we will say that other than him actually getting the dragon out of the water, it was Daenerys is going to have to turn up. Gendry's going to have to run back to the wall. Oh, and the Raven's going to have to arrive, and it's all going to have to happen very fast.
Yeah.
But it did. It all came down to the exciting thing that he now does have a dragon. And what can he want to do with it?
I wonder. Maybe kill all of Westeros? He's obviously got some deep, deep-seated hate when it comes to humans in the south. And I think the previous season definitely gave us an indication of why he'd be so bitter towards us warm-blooded humans. So, the Children of the Forest, we saw that they were actually to thank for this Night King being existing in the first place when they shoved a giant obsidian blade into one poor man's heart, turning him into the blue-eyed babe that we see on TV. But I'm not surprised he wants to come and kill all the humans, because they are probably the reason that he's not human anymore, because the Children of the Forest needed a weapon, and that weapon was the Night King.
Well, speaking of them not being human anymore, I thought it was quite interesting this episode, and also quite befitting for narratively of, we need one White Walker. And remarkably, when they hit was it his lieutenant or someone? Someone that's a general, someone high up, everyone else just shattered, everyone just fell to bits, literally, left one behind. And what's interesting about that is, we know now that to destroy the White Walkers, you don't need to kill them all. You don't need to go through every single one smashing off heads and using, dragon glass. You can literally find the top one, cut that head off, and that kills everything, which makes everything significantly more interesting for how Season 8 can play out with, if we just, if you kill him, you kill them all.
Exactly.
That's it. That's one thing.
I think it's definitely going to be a case of when the battle starts to happen, they're going to have to find a way to avoid a whole ton of zombies, because let's admit it, they are basically zombies, to then get to the Night King behind the ranks. But do we think they can count on help from King's Landing now? I mean, they have a corpse, an animate corpse, so...
They do, but how long also can they have that?
Exactly.
What kind of ways can the Night King stop that particular walker arriving?
I wonder. We know that with every White Walker death, all of the corpses they reanimated again just turn into ash. So the Night King could do the most unexpected of things and kill the lieutenant that turned that corpse
provided
into an animated
provided
corpse.
that he knows that. I wonder how, does he keep tabs on that? There's not exactly lists.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was semi-all-knowing. Like, he seems to have quite a connection to the dead, so perhaps then he'd be able to figure out who turned who. But it would be a massive blow to Daenerys and Jon if the one thing they wanted to get back to King's Landing just didn't exist.
Just became a pile of rags. Which would be pretty dramatic if it also happens next episode. Obviously, everything's coming back to King's Landing. The Hound's got into that boat with the Walker. Everyone is going to descend. Because we didn't see Cersei this episode, and we saw her last episode, but we've not seen her this episode. So we're kind of saving ourselves for this finale, which is, 82 minutes?
Yes, it's a long one.
It's a long proper movie of epic proportions, hopefully. But what's interesting is, has there ever been a case of a White Walker having any consciousness or knowing anything? Is there a deep-seated knowledge?
I'm betting that it probably won't be a straight ice dragon is now completely on the side of the White Walkers. I would be very surprised if there wasn't at least a glimpse of recognition in Viserion's eyes and they made a big story point out of that.
Yeah.
But there is another way that Viserion might not be the trump card that the Night King expects him to be. And that is turning to good old Bran.
So what can he do with the dragon?
Well, we know he can warg, so Would he be able to warg into the ice dragon and then perhaps turn the tide of the battle in a really key, probably really stressful moment in the middle of the cinematic
Where you
scene?
think that it couldn't possibly get any worse.
Exactly.
Before he comes in, not acting like he's on a gap year,
Yup.
and actually is helpful.
And is useful. And then those blue eyes turn white, and all of a sudden we have well, not Viserion, but
E-Dragon
Viserion's
back,
being used
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Well, that would be a really interesting way of season 8. Obviously, we know season 8 is going to be massively explosive and everything has to happen. So I'm guessing that we're not going to see a dragon again, or that particular icy dragon again, until next season. I think next episode, although it's going to be feature length, I think we're going to get much more drama in there. They're going to have to get, the action in, but we've had plenty of Walker stabbing this episode. I think it might be a little more muted and a little bit more Game of Thronesy again, where, Cersei moving things around, everyone playing the game. I expect that to happen next week. So what does the Night King want? Whether he'll get it next episode or next season, that is really the question.
That is the question. And we know how slowly the White Walkers move and how fast Jon does. So
we also know the speed of Game of Thrones' current narrative.
Their pacing
that could
is-
happen. Everything that we've just said could happen in the first 10 minutes of next episode. But I doubt it. So that's it for our musings on Game of Thrones this week. We'll be back next week for a discussion on the final Game of Thrones episode. If you are looking for anything more on Game of Thrones, check out the site. Otherwise, subscribe for more news, previews, reviews right here on GamesRadar Plus.